Hey guys, it's Lindsay and welcome back to my channel. So today we are going to be doing my September TBR in my inconspicuous bag of book covers. So to do a little bit recap for last month, I was supposed to read a total of 10 books. As of filming right now, it is only August 22nd and I currently have read a total of 19 books, I think. I've read a lot this month. A lot of them are really small novellas that I just had on my shelf that I needed to finish reading, and the audiobooks were available. And I read maybe three graphic novels. So right there, that's that's a lot of books to read. And I've read a lot. So I will talk about that in my August wrap up. With that being said, we're going to go ahead and get into this TBR. So we're going to do a recap, like I said a minute ago. So I was supposed to read a total of 10 different books. Number 1 was Going Deep by Jane Ryland. I did complete that. Number 2 was Barbarian's Mate by Ruby Dixon. I did complete that, as well as 3 other books from the Ice Planet Barbarian series. Number 3 on my list was Wolfsong by T.J. Klune. I have not read that book, but I am planning on reading it this week. Like I said, it is currently August 22nd, so I will be reading that this week, hopefully. Number 4 on my list was A Game of Retribution by Scarlett St. Clair. I have read that. Number 5 on my list was Bound by the Past by Cora Riley. I didn't read that, and I took it out of my stack, so I don't plan on reading it. I'm going to put it back into the bucket of book covers, just because I just don't really want to read them. And it is what it is. So there's that. Number 6 on my list is Jock Road by Sarah Nye. I did read that. Number 7 was In Bed with Mr. Wrong by Katie Robert. I did read that. Number 8 is There Are No Saints by Sophie Lark. I did read that, and I am currently reading There Is No Devil, which is book 2 in the series. Number 9 was If I'm Being Honest by Emily Wimberly and Austin Sigmund Broca. I did not read that, and I don't plan on reading it this month, so I am putting it back into the bag of book covers. And then number 10 on my list was Lore Olympus, and I did read that, so volume 2. So out of the 10, I read 7, I think. 6. I read 6 and I'm working on the 7th. So overall, I am really not upset with that. I did very well with my TBR. That's about 70%. So you know what? I'm not mad at it, you know? So anyway, we're going to get started on the September TBR. I also am participating in the Season-a-thon Academy that will be starting at the beginning of September, and it goes through the whole month, I believe. And that is put on by Completely Melanie, Kaylani from Kaylani Simply Me, and Clint from Reed's Readers. I will leave all 3 of their channels in the description box below, so you can go check them out. There are 5 different classes that you have to select a book for, and I will be doing that at the end of this vlog because I have to figure out what I'm planning on reading. So that might be another clip because it is late by the time I am filming this. So I'm literally just going to be picking up the book covers and then we'll figure out the TBR later. So with that being said, let's go ahead and get into this. I'm going to go ahead and put my book covers back into the bag here. Like I said, I am throwing If I'm Being Honest and Bound by the Past back into this bag, but I am also throwing some other things in here. I did have 4 others that I was hopefully going to get to, but I'm just put too much pressure on myself. So Exodus by Kate Stewart is going back in the bag. Riot Act by Callie Hart is going back in the bag. I have Riot Rules set aside, and I'll explain that in a minute. Twisted Hate by Anna Huang and Brave by Jennifer L. Armentrout are all going back into the bag. The things that I have set aside here are Hammer It Home and The More the Merrier by Jane Ryland. I will be reading and finishing those tomorrow. Zodiac Academy Fated Thrones, which is book 6 by Carolyn Peckham and Suzanne Valenti. Like I said, I have 5 hours of that audiobook left. I might finish it this week. but we'll see. Wolf Song by TJ Klune. Riot Laurels by Callie Hart. Like I said, this is book 2 in the Crooked Sinner series, and I will be carrying it over basically into September. And then I will be reading There Is No Devil by Sophie Lark. So out of this stack of 6, I already am planning on finishing 5 of them. So the one for September that is going to be rolled over is Riot Rolls. So there's that. And then there's 2 other books that I do have set aside for September. They are both continuations of a series, and they are both coming out at the end of this month, then the beginning of next month. So Never Look Back by A.L. Jackson is book 3 in the Redemption Hill series. This does come out on August 29th. So we will be reading that in September. And then the other book I have planned for September is Their Vicious Darling by Nikki St. Crow. This is book 3 in the Vicious Lost Boys series. This comes out on September 1st, and I'm super excited for it. So that is literally probably going to be read on September 1st, but we'll see. So here is my bag of to be read book covers, and we're going to head and put them in this inconspicuous bag. So let's go ahead and get those in there. So I am going to be picking out 10 additional book covers here, in addition to the 3. So there will be 13, and then there is 5 season-a-thon prompts that I will have to figure out. So like I said, we'll be figuring that out later. But I am going to go ahead and pick 10 movie cover or book covers here. So let's see what we got. No, that's a bind up. I don't feel like reading any bind ups this month, so we're just not going to do that. So then let's go back with this one. Oh no. We've got Reminders of Him by Colleen Hoover. Yeah, I've been putting off Colleen Hoover for months now. I have so many of her books that I haven't read yet, and I'm just like dreading it to like my core. I am not looking forward to it, but oh well. And I mean purely because like I know the emotional damage that I'm gonna have from those books, so I always put them off unless I have like a need to cry or something. So that's book number 1. Book number 2. Okay, Games We Play by Dana Isolé. I do have this on audio, so that's, you know, pretty good. I think I have the Kindle Unlimited version of that, so we'll see. Alright, book number 3. Just gonna leave that over there because we're not reading it. Alright, book number 3. Alright, The Longing of Lone Wolf by Lana, oh dear, Petrzik? So that's book 1. I think I have this on audio, so I will hopefully be able to read that. I know I have a lot of them on my wish list on Amazon, so I don't know if that's one of them, but we'll see. So that's book 3. Book 4 is... No. There's some that I'm like, alright, we're not going to read those until I have a better mindset, and that was one of them. So, alright, book number 4. Oh, God. Oh, Credence by Penelope Douglas. Yeah, we're just going to move on. Moving on. Oh, no. Okay, book number 5 is... Oh, yes! Founded on Deception by Kat Singleton. This is book 3 in the Founded in Goodbye series. I think it's called, like, the mixtape series. Book 1 is Founded in Goodbye. Book 2 is Founded in... Deception? No. I don't remember what book 2 is called. Rejection, maybe? Founded on Rejection. And this is Founded on Deception. Anyway, that's book 3 in that series. So, looking forward to that. That's book 5. Alright, book number 6. Hopelessly Bromantic by Lauren Blakely. I'm super excited. I have not read a Lauren Blakely book in a hot minute, so that's super exciting. Alright, that's book number 6. Book number 7. The Words by A. Jade. I'm like, we're not even going to talk about it. We're just going to move on. I know that book is so loved, and it's been on my TBR for a little bit, but it's a thick book. She be thick. I can see her right over there. She be thick. So that's book 7. Let's see. Book 8 is... No. I love that my old, like, some of my books from my previous TBRs are popping up here. I know the universe is telling me that I need to finish my unread books, but no, we're going to wait. Book number 8. Indigo Ridge by Devney Perry. I picked that book up at Book Bonanza, which I'm finding like some of these were definitely from Book Bonanza, which is interesting. So that is book 8. So I have 2 more, and then we'll figure out this TBR. So book number 9. Book number 9 is, another Sophie Lark book, The Heir by Sophie Lark. I think that one is basically like Mafia. I think it's the Kingmaker series, so it's like the Mafia type romance. I don't know. We'll see. Alright, and then the last book for the September TBR is actually one that I was planning on reading next month anyway, and that is Vipers and Virtuosos by Sav R. Miller. So we've got some dark romance next month. Like, that's 10 books. Wow. And then I have 3 others. I usually pick 2 extras just for like the side, which I'll do here right now. Book 1 is Corrupt by Penelope Douglas, so another Penelope Douglas book. And then the last book that I have is and the last book here. No, my God, I hate that I'm subjective with this, but anyway, the last book is, I don't know, I just picked 2 Mariana Zapata books, like back to back. Nope. Last book is going to be Moon Touched by Elizabeth Briggs. So that is a werewolf shifter. So those are my 10, and then I have 2 extras plus the 3 that I have already planned to move over to September. So that means that's a total of 15 books for the month of September. I tell everybody in these videos, this is very subjective. So yes, these are some books that I will be reading, most of them, hopefully, but I also am planning on being like a mood reader. So if I have a mood on where, you know, I want to read like a rockstar romance, is any of these books a rockstar romance? You know what I mean? So I try to pick books that will fit any type of mood that I'm in. So there is 15 books here to choose from. Hopefully we'll be able to enjoy them. So that is the September TBR. Let me go ahead and stop this video right now, figure out my TBR for Season-a-thon Academy, and I will let you know that in a second. So give me just 1 minute. Hey guys, so that took a lot longer than it should have because I needed to do one of the questions, which we'll talk about in a minute, but it took a long time to find a book that fit that description. Anyway, so for the Season-a-thon Academy, there are 5 courses that you have to complete. So there are 5 different subjects that you have to complete one of the prompts for. in order to move on to like next year or whatever, you have to complete every course. So there's only 5, which is fantastic. However, some of these are very hard to choose. So for number 1, it's English 10-10, read anything you want. So that's literally any book that I'm going to be picking up in September. I will count for that. I'm not going to pick anything specific because I have so many books that I'm going to be reading in this month that it's going to take me a minute to figure out what I want to actually read for that. So that one will be answered later on, I'm sure. Number 2 is Math 10-10, and it's add the numbers from your birth date together until you only have a single digit. My number was 7. Now, it is incredibly difficult to find a book ending in the number 7. So the one, and I mean the only book that I have that had a number 7 that I was remotely interested in reading, I'm currently reading. So we're going to hold off on finishing this book until probably the first week of September. And that is Zodiac Academy book number 6, Fated Throne. This book ends, like the very last page that has dialogue on it is page 647. So it ends in a 7. We're going with it. So we're just going to hold off a little bit longer to read this. So not next week, but the following we'll be getting to it. So I am halfway through it. It won't hurt me to wait another week to read this book. But that will definitely be accomplished, which it took me a long time to figure out what book. There is 2 books over there that did end with a 7, but I didn't want to read them, at least not yet. This one at least has an audiobook, so I can finish it via audio. So super excited that I can actually count that towards a readathon, which is very exciting. Course number 3 is select one from the Fine Arts and Humanities, which is Historical Understanding subcategory. So for this, there was a couple that I could choose from. I did pick Mass Media History, which is COM 2200, which is read an ebook or listen to an audiobook. I tend to listen to a lot of my books that I read, and I have quite a few of these on audio. So I think I'm going to pick one that I will be listening to and following along on the ebook, and that's going to be The Longing of Lone Wolves by Lana Petrzik? Sorry, I'm really hard on some of the foreign names, at least to me, and it makes me ignorant, I know. So yes, we'll be doing this one. I do have the audiobook for this, and I will hopefully be getting to this in early September. Course number 4 is select one from the Fine Arts and Humanities Thoughts, Values, and Beliefs subcategory. So there's a couple on here as well that seem very interesting to me. One was Philosophy 2010, which is Introduction to Philosophy, read a book involving good or evil. And then the other one was Sports Ethics, read a book involving a sport. And the other one was Popular Culture, read a book that has been adapted to a movie or TV show. I do not have a book on my list that has been adapted to a movie or TV show. I also don't have a book that has a sport in it, which is very unusual for me. So the one that I will be going with is An Introduction to Philosophy, read a book involving good or evil, or good versus evil. And for that, I think I'm going to go with The Heir by Sophie Lark. This is book 1 in the Kingmaker series. This is about mafia princesses and princes, and they have a lot of, good versus evil in them. So we're going to go with that for that one. So we'll at least have something for that topic. And course number 5 is Foreign Language 1010 or Foreign Language 1020. So there is read a book set in a different country from your own, or read a translated book. So for that one, I have a lot here that are obviously going to be taking place in the United States. But I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, The Air by Sophie Lark is in a different country from your own. I think it's in like a foreign area. I'm not entirely sure. But it's kind of hard to find a book that is set in a different country. I can find one that's set in a different state than my own. That's pretty easy. But we can also do like the Rockstar romances. There's 2 Rockstar romances on here. They do go to different countries, so I'm considering maybe one of those. But that'll probably be something that I figure out later. I also have The Vicious Darling by Nikki St. Crow. That is set in a completely different world. So we might just do that instead. But yeah, I don't really read a lot of books set in different countries, which is also undersight on my end, but it is what it is. So those are all the books that I plan on reading for the month of September and for the Season-a-thon Academy readathon. I'm super excited. I have a lot to read, and it's going to be a long time. It's going to be a lot for next month. I honestly don't know if I'm going to be reading all of these, hopefully, but again, I'm not going to push myself to read them all. If I don't make it, that's totally fine. If I do, fantastic. But it's not something that is going to make or break me. So super excited for all of these books to be read this month. If you have read any of these books, please let me know what you thought about them in the comments below. But please beware of spoilers. I don't mind if you spoil myself, but I don't want to spoil anybody else that may be reading your comments. So I will have to remove your comment if you do leave a spoiler. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please give me a big thumbs up. I do leave my social media links for my Instagram and my Goodreads in the description box below, so you can go check those out if you're interested. And I will see you guys in my next video.